Hey everyone, Mark and Joey here from the ultimatesportschannel.com, and we want to encourage you to go to the website. We got a full sports feed there for you every day. All the sports you want to read about and all the sports you want to watch, and of course our podcast as well. So you will find a page there showing where we are being listened to, where we're being seen, as well as our sponsors. Really appreciate if you support our sponsors. And Joey, today we're indoors. We're talking about the ice. They're all getting ready to go in the NHL. All the camps are starting today, tomorrow. And we're going to talk about one of our favorite stories in the second half of the NHL last year, Carolina.
Yeah, and Carolina, had a great run, obviously, to make the playoffs and create that trend that I think was actually really, really cool, although I had mixed opinions, I guess.
Just from the old timers.
Yeah, but it was really, really cool how they made that run and made the playoffs and even got through the first round. I thought that was very impressive and good for them and good for the city. They were struggling to get fans, almost going out of business. All of a sudden, they brought them all in, got them real excited, and I know they're just as excited for this upcoming season.
Well, it was genius. I mean, we see it in football all the time. The old guys that are complaining that it's, traditional and other crap. You know what? You got to get into the times, and people like to come and be engaged in the team now, especially younger people. And what they did in their celebrations at the end of the game. By the way, if you've never seen it, go to YouTube, put Carolina Hurricanes in there and watch them. They're real fun, and that had brought hockey into the football world of celebrations. I think it was amazing.
Yeah, I totally agree. And like I said, the NFL had to allow them back in their league for a reason. The NHL should do it more, get the young fans involved.
Entertainment business. Yeah. I mean, once you get past the score, it's about entertainment, and they did that. They were smart.
So let's get into their camp, though. That's what this is all about, is what their prediction is going to be this year, who's going to help them get to it, possibilities of higher or lower. Quickly on the Carolina Hurricanes, a couple question marks coming this year. Obviously, their captain has not really retired, but said had to take basically time off. He will not suit it up to start the year. Obviously, they're going into what I would almost call a sophomore season for this team.
Yeah.
How is that going to play out?
Now we're actually good, and there's some expectations of us.
Yeah. And they got their starting goaltender back, but did lose their backup. So, a couple questions here for Carolina going into it. It'll be interesting how it all works out. They kept their main guy, Sebastian Aho, from an offer sheet. So we'll see how that all plays out. I like Rob Brindamore as a coach. But like I said, a couple question marks here. So let's get into it. My prediction for them is 97 points.
Wow.
Now, that would be less than this year and borderline a playoff spot. Truthfully.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Yeah. That's
right
really fourth or fifth in this division. And like I said, last year, 5 teams in this division made the playoffs. Only 3 from the other team. I predicted Florida would get better, and that's another division.
Okay, Joey, so just in the playoffs, right around the mark, and that's going to be tough for them.
Yeah, 4th or 5th in this division will be very difficult. The other division only had 3 teams, the Atlantic Division. The Atlantic Division is going to get Florida. They're going to be way better. I see 4 teams in that division making the playoffs, which would leave 4 in the Metropolitan Division, which might kick...
One less than last year.
Yeah, it might kick Carolina out. I really hope it does. In my mind, the Islanders have gotten worse. The Columbus Blue Jackets have gotten worse. That's good news. But the Rangers and the Devils got better. So, Carolina, a bit of a question mark here. I'm going to go with 4th or 5th. 4th, assuming one of the Rangers and Devils suck, and one of them is good, and then you got Pittsburgh and Washington. That's the way I'm looking at it here, guys, is, those 2 teams are going to be better.
Well, I'm going to be pulling for them because I like the way that they invigorated their franchise and got fans involved with all the celebrations. So I want them to be there.
I agree with you, but I don't think you can disagree with the way I'm looking at it. With those 2 teams getting better, one will exceed our expectations, and I'm talking about the Rangers and Devils here, and one will disappoint, which will leave Carolina in that spot of 4th, and hopefully that gets them in. And I think that's a wild card spot for them, and I really do hope that is playoff bound.
Right.
So playoffs, yes. That, like I said, that 4th divisional rank, I think will be good enough to get them in, but it's still a big question mark there. But I'm going to go with yes for now. Playoffs for sure. 97 points. 4th in that division. Very, very impressive. And it's, like I said, which is a sophomore season, essentially. You had that great rookie year with the style of winning and the celebrations. Can you do it twice in a row? I think they can. So we're going to see that going forward.
So, is your MVP the guy who leads the celebrations or the guy who's the best on the team this year?
So, they got a lot of good players, but the MVP will have to be, and I always go to, the guy who costs the most money has to be your MVP. And Sebastian Aho will have to be your MVP. Montreal threw in an offer sheet, the first one in many, many years, and Carolina immediately matched it. Yeah. That tells me this guy is theirs for the future. It's a big commitment. So, he has to be the MVP. I just don't see any way around it. When you pay that guy that kind of money, he has to lead your team in scoring. He has to lead your team in assists. He has to be the guy.
And he's going to be looked on from the rest of the guys who want to make more money. He is the target now. So they need to be better. For the rest of the cast here to get the money they're going to want in next contracts, he's the leader of that. He went out and got big money, got the offer sheet. He needs to lead the way. Other guys are going to be looking, hey, if we can all lift up and make this franchise stronger, they're going to pay the money because they now proved it. Well, I think that was a big thing in doing this offer sheet.
I totally agree with you there. Even more, though, important is that they're willing to take less money if this guy's the real deal.
If the team
and that's
better.
The way I look at it is, guys, there's a few guys that will take less money, mainly those third and fourth liners that could maybe go get an extra $500,000 from another team. Well, they'll hang around if Sebastian Aho comes out and has a breakout season and competes with the best in the NHL right now.
Right.
And that's what the money is saying that he has to do. So if Carolina makes the playoffs here, gets that divisional rank, I think they will, Sebastian Aho is going to have to put up a great season, something along the lines of 40-40. And that's going to have to happen for them.
Yeah.
And, obviously there's other parts, but start with that. And then their breakout star is going to have to be Brooke McGinn. And the reason why he was actually a Game 7 hero this year in the playoffs, didn't get much ice time, was kind of a third, fourth liner. I think will still be a second or third liner, but I think the team overall got a little bit better. A little bit more depth. Maybe not Justin Williams, someone we know, but guys around him will make him better. He's a guy I think can play with bigger players. He might be that guy that goes to the first line at some point, goes back to the third, go back to the second. So Brooke McGinn's someone that's going to elevate his game. I think he's going to get more time. He's going to score a little bit more goals, a little bit more assists. I think he's just one of those guys who will be a rover on this team. He will go from the first and third line consistently throughout the year, depending on injuries and how guys are playing. So he's a guy that no one really knows right now. He had that moment in Game 7. I think will elevate himself to be a little bit better with Justin Williams retiring. He's going to get more ice time already with one forward out of the mix.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll see this guy. I mean, they don't have a superstar in the making because it's easy to pick a draft pick typically. This is a guy that's kind of been there. I think will just get an advantage from being a guy that's consistent. It elevates players around him. Good players around him elevate him. So, he's that guy that I see, if your second line's really good, but there's an injury on the first line, a lot of times coaches don't take away from that second line.
Right.
They go to the third line and go, who can move up? This is that guy for me. And then if he gets on that first line, might be able to be a staple.
And he's got to play off the motivation of the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's big when guys have that kind of moment. So we'll see what he brings to the game. We know that they're going to play tough. They're a team that's on the rise. We know they've got a player who's been paid a ton of money. That usually means everybody's going to play better. And we know that they are going to do the whole entertainment thing.
Great coach.
And they got a great coach in there. They got great fans now. They revitalized all of that. That should lead to momentum to be in the playoffs this year. So we're going to be cheering for them. They liven up the game. They're going to be good to be in the playoffs, obviously, and have a fan base now, not just in Carolina, but I think with what they did last year, there's a fan base of watching them throughout North America.
Certainly, I think they will become the favorite team for kids, and I think that's a good market to tap into.
Yeah.
Obviously, kids drive parents to buy jerseys, watch games, and stuff like that. So they've really hit a good market here. They're really the feel-good story. We talked about, if you watch our baseball show, we constantly talk about Oakland.
Yeah.
And this is my Oakland of hockey. Not necessarily with the budget, but with the feel-good story kind of them needing to make in this small market, in this market where the team almost went out again this year until they went on this great run. So I like to see them continue it. Couple question marks here. I think they're all going to be good enough for that fourth spot, though, which would be awesome. Get them into the playoffs. Remember, a wild card spot in hockey is a full 7-game series, so a good chance to then improve on that. And if my predictions are right, guess who they'll play? Washington Capitals. Because I have Washington winning this division.
Back to back, that'd be a great start, but we think Washington win this year. So there you go. That's our camp review of the Carolina and what's going to happen there. And the Hurricanes, again, we think are going to be a team right on the bubble. We think they're going to make it through, and that's what we're looking forward to this year.